Hello everybody and welcome to another quick Odysseyware explanation video. I guess that's what I'm calling these. Today we are taking a look at Odysseyware Assignment 6, the Persuasive Essay. First up top, the two objectives compose a persuasive essay using regular triangle organization and use comparison and contrast development. That regular triangle organization, if you remember from the previous lesson, is where your topic sentence basically comes at the end. You start with a narrow idea and you broaden out to your topic sentence with the support coming before. Kind of backwards than the way we normally teach it, but still just as effective. So those are the two main things. Regular triangle, so topic sentences should come later, and you have to be using compare and contrast. You're going to pick two things to compare and contrast, and then you're going to talk about them, and then you're going to pick one of them as better than the other. And they can be anything. They give examples here. They can be apples and oranges. They can be events like Waterloo and Normandy. They can be places, Hawaii and Alaska, or people, two different politicians. With this being an election year, you could talk about presidential candidates. It's whatever you want. Though keep in mind, this is a brief writing assignment, so you don't want to go too crazy. It talks about organizing your information. You can do some pre-writing on a piece of paper, some outlining, however you want to do. It's always a good idea to do some pre-writing. I have a little example I'm going to give you, and I did some pre-writing myself to a piece of paper to the side. You're going to write one paragraph for each main point. You're going to use connecting words at the beginning and end of each paragraph to link them together. You're going to summarize and conclude in a conclusion paragraph, and you're going to write at least 200 words with an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. You'll be graded on the following things, and I will be grading this. You're going to clearly state your position and support it with the required number of words. You're going to make sure each paragraph contains one main idea and support using complete sentences. You're going to include an introductory paragraph, proper transitions, and an appropriate conclusion. You're going to make sure your essay contains no errors in convention, such as spelling and grammar, and that it is at least 200 words long. If you're unsure about the length, copy and paste it into a Google Doc and use the word count feature to see how long it is. And then you're just going to write down here. Now, all you're going to do is writing, and you can write in a Google Doc and then copy and paste it if you want, or you can just write in this. It doesn't matter. What I'm going to do here is just take you through a brief outline explanation of what they want you to do. And I'm just going to write some notes here. Yours is going to look different. You're going to write actual paragraphs. I'm going to write a brief outline so you can see what we're looking at. So, to start with, I would write an introduction. Actually, before even that, I need to decide on my topic. And I've decided if I have to compare and contrast two things, I'm going to go with something near and dear to my heart, video games, and I'm going to talk about the differences between Doom, the original from 1993, and the original Half-Life, which, if you do not know, is a game that came out in 1999, I believe it was, 1998, that is just really good and another fun shooter. So, I even just put it there. I'm going to talk about those two games. So now I'm going to have an intro paragraph, and standard rules of introduction apply. I'm going to try to lay out my basic idea ahead of time, try to grab your attention. I'm going to try to do all these things to make you want to read what I am going to write. Okay, so there's my intro paragraph. Now, I need 3 body paragraphs, and they've already told me what they need to be. My first paragraph needs to be about one of my things. My second paragraph needs to be about the other thing. And my third paragraph needs to be about picking between the two. So, what I'm going to do for my notes here is I'm going to write my topic sentence, the base of my regular triangle shape, for each of these paragraphs. So my topic sentence for Doom, the main point about Doom, is that Doom, from 1993, is the granddaddy of the FPS. Actually, I'm going to do this. Using convention, I'm going to write out what FPS means, first-person shooter, and then put it in parentheses so that as I write, I can just use FPS. I don't have to say first-person shooter every time. So there's my topic sentence. That's what I'm going to lead to with my first paragraph. For my second paragraph, I'm going to say that Half-Life was the evolution of the FPS genre. Half-Life was how that genre grew and became better than it was. So, one paragraph will talk about Doom and all of its glory. One paragraph will talk about Half-Life and all of its glory. And now I have to pick one. Which one's better, in my opinion? And I'm going to be leading up to this. Okay, so I've compared them. Now I have to contrast them by saying which one is better and what sets them apart. And my topic sentence I'm going to lead up to there is this. You get to see how badly I type. Half-Life is a richer and more engaging experience. So that'll be what I lead to. They're both good. I think Half-Life's better. Then I'm going to write a conclusion where I'm going to sum up what I said, kind of restate my main point there, and then I'm done. That's it. There's 5 paragraphs. Now there's one last thing, and I'm going kind of fast, so maybe play this on 3/4 speed. One last thing that I need some sort of transition between each paragraph. Now this is hard to do in an outline stage because I don't know exactly what I'm going to write, but I know I need some sort of transition here. Within each paragraph, I need some sort of transitory statement so that I can get from one idea to the other. So maybe for my transition from Doom to Half-Life, at the beginning of the Half-Life paragraph, I might say something like, Doom was the first major FPS, but all things change. I don't know. I can't think of the text right now because I'm not writing it, but I want to put the notes in there so that I can lead from one thing to the next. We don't want to just jump from one idea to another. We want to give a good lead in and lead our readers through our writing. But this is the basics of it. Now I could sit down and write out the rest of this, and I can go piece by piece. I always like doing my introductions last, so I would just sit down and start talking about Doom, what made it so great in that time, then start with my next paragraph and my third and go on from there. Keep in mind as you go through this, the criteria that are listed up here, the things that I'm going to be grading you on. Make sure you reach that 200-word limit or 200-word threshold. And also, please make sure that this is all your original work. This is your opinion. You get to pick 2 things that you enjoy, or one thing you like, one thing you don't like. You get to pick 2 things that you are passionate about, that you can talk about, and you get to write about them. You do not have to copy this from anyone. You shouldn't be copying this from anyone because this is your opinion. All you're trying to do is to tell us which one you think is better. Okay? So the idea is persuasion. That's the overall goal. Convince us of what it is you believe. But it's what you believe. So, I hope this helps. I hope this gives you a little bit of idea of how to get started if you needed it. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me through Odysseyware, or as always, email me. So I hope that helps out. Good luck. Have fun.